Every secret whispered to the wind eventually becomes a storm. Here's mine. Subscription note. Join Tears and Truth for stories that haunt and heal. Hit subscribe. You won't want to miss what's next. The story begins. Beneath the ashen skies of Nevada's high desert, a lone hiker's journey twists into a love story that defies time and death itself. The tires of my rented Jeep spat gravel as I rolled into Silver Hollow, a ghost town etched into the desert like a scar. My solo hiking trip was supposed to be a reset, a way to outrun my failed engagement and the suffocating pity of friends. But as I stepped onto the sun-baked main street, the air hummed with something sharper than silence. Windows, boarded but brittle, stared like hollow eyes. A saloon sign creaked, its paint long peeled into spectral whispers. I adjusted my backpack, snapping photos for my blog, wanderlust and warnings. The town's history was grim. Silver miners, a cholera outbreak, and a mass grave rumored to pulse with restless souls. Then I saw him. A figure leaned against the saloon's doorway, silhouetted by the midday glare. He wore a dust-flecked duster coat, his hat tipped low. My breath hitched. No one else was here. I checked. When I blinked, he was gone. That night, camping in the shadow of the town's church, I heard piano keys tinkling through the dark, a mournful melody, like a hymn half remembered. My flashlight beam cut through the black, revealing the saloon's doors swinging open. Inside, the air smelled of bourbon and bergamot. The piano sat untouched, cobwebbed. "You're brave to stay here after sundown," a voice drawled behind me. I spun. There he stood, sharp jawline, eyes like smoldered coal. Real. His smile was a knife's edge. "Name's Elias," he said. "You shouldn't linger in places that don't want you." When I asked if he was a local, he laughed bitterly. "Local? You could say that." By dawn, he'd vanished again. But his warning clung to me. I returned to the saloon at dusk, driven by a gnawing curiosity. Elias waited, a glass of amber liquid in hand. "You're stubborn," he said, sliding me a drink. The whiskey tasted like smoke and secrets. He spoke of Silver Hollow's past. The mines, the greed, the fever that slaughtered families. "They blamed the dead for their misery," he said, knuckles whitening. "Dug up the graves, burned the corpses. But some souls don't burn easy." I asked how he knew so much. His gaze turned glacial. "I watched it happen." A chill spider walked my spine. He stepped closer, fingertips brushing a locket at my throat. "A gift from my ex. You carry ghosts too," he murmured. "But yours still breathe." Suddenly, the saloon doors slammed shut. Candles flared blue. Elias's face paled. "They're here." A cold gust extinguished the lights. In the dark, his hand found mine. "Run." We burst into the street, where figures materialized, shimmering, skeletal, clutching rusted pickaxes. Elias pulled me into the church, barricading the door. "The dead don't take kindly to outsiders," he panted. "Or to traitors." "Traitors?" I asked. He hesitated. "I led the revolt against the mine owners. They hanged me for it." My blood turned to ice. Hanged. Outside, the ghosts wailed. Inside, Elias's confession hung between us. A truth too impossible to swallow. Rain lashed the church roof as I stared at Elias. "You're saying you're dead?" He unbuttoned his collar, revealing a rope burn, purple and gnarled. "Died in 1888. But the town's anger binds me here." His voice frayed. "I've wandered alone for lifetimes. Until you." I recoiled. "This isn't real. Grief's making me hallucinate." "Is it?" He gripped my wrist, his touch fever-hot. "Why else would you come here? To a town named for emptiness." I yanked free, but the locket swung open, revealing a photo of my ex and me. Elias stilled. "You mourn a living man?" He laughed coldly. I'd trade eternity for one more day. Shame burned my cheeks. I'd run from a breakup, while he'd kill to exist. The ghosts outside howled. Elias pressed a journal into my hands. His journal, pages brittle. Read it, or don't, but leave before sunrise. I spent the night devouring his words. The mine owner's daughter, Clara, betrayed me. Her kiss lured me to the gallows. At dawn, I found Elias by the graves. Clara's the reason you're trapped? He nodded. Love makes fools of corpses. Something in me cracked. What if I'm not here by accident? His eyes met mine. For a heartbeat, the desert held its breath. Elias's journal trembled in my hands. Clara's betrayal echoed my own. My ex's lies, the ring I'd flung into a lake. You loved her, I said, even after she doomed you. Love isn't a choice, he said bitterly. The sun dipped, painting the desert in blood-red streaks. Elias led me to the mine shaft, its mouth gaping. They're stronger at night. You need to go. What if I free you instead? He stiffened. Don't. But I stepped closer. What if Clara's not the only one who can kiss a ghost? His resolve crumbled. Our lips met. A collision of heat and hunger, tasting of whiskey and wildfire. The ground shuddered. The locket at my throat glowed, searing my skin. Elias tore away, agony twisting his face. You shouldn't have. A roar erupted from the mine. Ghosts surged, clawing at him. Traitor! They screeched. Elias shoved me toward the jeep. Drive! I sped off, rearview mirror filled with spectral light. His final words chased me. The locket? Break it! At a motel, I smashed the locket. Inside, hidden beneath my photo, was a note from my ex. I never loved you, but Elias's face haunted me. Had I freed him or doomed us both? I returned to Silver Hollow at midnight, armed with Elias's journal and a stolen pickaxe. The ghosts circled, hissing, as I hacked at the mine's boarded entrance. You want vengeance? I shouted. Take it. The boards splintered. A vortex of wind and shadows swallowed me, dragging me into the past. Asterisk 1888 star. Elias stood trial in the saloon, noose dangling. Clara watched, tears gleaming. I'm sorry, she whispered. No. I breathed at Elias's gaze locked on mine across time. You! He mouthed as I lunged, kissing him again. A forbidden spark igniting the room. The vision shattered. Back in the present, the mind collapsed. The ghosts dissolved, whispering thanks. But Elias was gone and in the dust. I found his hat and a note. Some storms are meant to end. Forgive yourself. The blog post I wrote went viral. Ghosts exist, so do second chances. I still hike alone. Sometimes, in the desert's breath, I hear piano notes and a laugh warm as whiskey. Subscribe to Tears and Truth for more tales where love outlives death.